All right, I want to first run you through the big findings in this Advocate Commissioner's report. It's a 17-page report, and CNN News 18 is the only channel to have full access to this Gyanvapi report. The 5 biggest revelations. The biggest one, there is a shivling-like structure in the Wazoo Khana. That's the number one thing that's been said. Number 2, they have also identified the remains of crimson-colored idols that are seen. At least 4 of them have been quoted in this report. There are also images of Hindu deities, swastika, symbols like the lotus, damru, etc., which are also there etched on the walls of the Gyanvapi Masjid. That's also been mentioned in the report. The remnants of the Aishwarya Mandap can also be seen. This is again there as part of the Advocate Commissioner's report. The damaged pillars inside the mosque complex are also visible. So this is what the 5 big things mentioned in the Advocate Commissioner's report. But that's not all. We've also managed to access the pictures that have been filed along with this report, and you can see the kind of architecture there is on the walls of the masjid. You can see the kind of pillars, the shaping, the architectural tapestry. It is all clear, and here again there is again what is said to be a shivling-like structure. So you can clearly see from the pictures also that this team, this videography team took, it is clear that there are parts of this masjid which resemble the remnants or the remains of a temple. The question now is, what happens now, both legally and politically? Legally, will the Supreme Court take cognizance of this videography report? And number 2, what happens politically? What happens to the 1991 Places of Worship Act? Let me go across first to my colleague Pranshu Mishra, who is joining us live. First of all, Pranshu, this report, it's been submitted to the lower court, but proceedings in the lower court have been stayed by the Supreme Court. So what material value does this report have?
Well, Zaka, it's clearly, it's a big endorsement of the Hindu side. The way this report says that a shivling-like structure has been found, the way this report says that there is no, channel of pumping up the water through this structure, which the Muslim side calls a fountain, that clearly endorses and further strengthens the claim of the Hindu side. But having said that, this report also says that, we need to have a survey either from the historians or from some expert committee. So that brings the question that whether we are inching towards the possibility of an archaeological survey, taking place here. And interestingly, a lower court in April 2021, Zaka, has already said that this place should be put under the ASI survey, excavation should take place. But High Court has stayed that order. And interestingly, at the moment, High Court is also hearing that case. Tomorrow again, there is a very crucial hearing in that matter in which Sunni Central Waqf Board and Anjuman Nizamiya Committee has challenged the earlier order and has also asked for quashing the entire proceedings. But now it seems that after this report has come forward, the legal battle will continue. Now what happens in the court, I have spoken to the lawyers and they say that this has been an evidence collected by the Advocate Commissioner. Now both Hindu and the Muslim sides get to argue. But those arguments and proceedings can only take place once the Supreme Court lifts up the stay. So for the moment, Supreme Court stays there till tomorrow, and the lower court accordingly has fixed the next date of 23rd May for hearing in this case.
All right, we'll see what happens both in the lower court in Varanasi as well as, of course, in the Supreme Court. I want to go across to our guest now, Anila Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Maulana Masood Hassan Kazmi, Muslim scholar. Khaliqur Rahman is a political analyst, and Aashutoshsrivastava is lawyer with the Supreme Court. Maulana Kazmi, I'll start with you. These are the 5 big things that have been found in the Advocate Commissioner's report. There is a shivling-like structure in the Wazoo Khana. There are remains of crimson-colored idols, at least 4 of them that have been seen. There are Hindu symbols like lotus, damru, swastika, bells, etc. At least now, क्या आप अभी ये मानेंगे कि ये जो ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद है उसके पहले वहां पे एक मंदिर होता था और मंदिर के ऊपर ये मस्जिद को खड़ा किया गया है?
Zaka, first of all, I would like to ask you or mainstream media, the term used by mainstream media, Hindu side and Muslim side, is very, very divisive and provocative. We all are together. We know the Hindus, the secular Hindu also are with the masjid side, and so many Muslim also are with the Hindu side. So मंदिर साइड
काज़मी साहब दो पार्टीज गए हैं टू कंटेस्ट दिस इन अ कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ, उनको क्या बुलाएं?
आप इसको
आप बता दीजिए उनको क्या बुलाएं? एक साइड तो हिंदू साइड है, दूसरे साइड तो मुस्लिम साइड है।
नहीं, no, why are you not calling it the masjid side and मंदिर साइड?
हाँ ठीक है, ओके, मस्जिद साइड मंदिर साइड, ठीक है, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? सेम ही है ना, मस्जिद साइड मंदिर साइड, ठीक है, हमने बुला लिया। अब आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए ना, क्या आप एडमिट करेंगे? ये तो हिस्टोरिकल फैक्ट है। आप औरंगजेब ने जो लिखा है फरमाने आलमगिरी, वो सब छोड़ दीजिए, हिस्ट्री छोड़ दीजिए। एटलीस्ट नाउ ये जो एडवोकेट कमिश्नर्स की रिपोर्ट है, इसके बेसिस पे क्या आप ये एडमिट करेंगे कि जो ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद है वो एक टेंपल के रूइंस के ऊपर बनाया गया?
Let the honorable court decide. Let the honorable lower court give a verdict on it. Why are you very judgmental that these symbols and these findings are of the mandir?
The findings are not of the mandir, sir. The findings are of the advocate commissioner.
Why are you very judgmental?
Findings are of the advocate commissioner. ये मंदिर की फाइंडिंग या मस्जिद की फाइंडिंग नहीं है।
No. Why? No. Why are the findings being leaked with the malicious intention?
I don't know what is the intention. I don't know who leaked it. Fact is that this is what has been submitted to court.
I'm telling you.
मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ ना कि ये मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि मतलब आप मस्जिद को तोड़ देना चाहिए या प्रेजेंट डे मुस्लिम्स है उनको औरंगजेब और शाहजहां के जो सिंस है उनके लिए अटोन करना है, वो सब नहीं कह रहा हूं। मैं सिर्फ ये पूछ रहा हूं कि जो हिस्टोरिकल रिकॉर्डेड फैक्ट है काजी साहब, औरंगजेब के कोर्टियर्स ने लिखा था फरमाने आलमगिरी। नहीं, ये हिस्टोरिक बुक है ना, हिस्टोरिक बुक है, उसको भी आप एक साइड पे रख दीजिए।
आप सुन तो लीजिए।
एडवोकेट कमिश्नर्स ने जो आज रिपोर्ट सबमिट किया है, क्या उसको भी मानेंगे या नहीं मानेंगे? बस इतना ही पूछ रहा हूं मैं।
हम उस पर कुछ नहीं कहेंगे, सुबह कल को कोर्ट कहेगी, लेकिन विद मैलिशियस इंटेंशन,
with malicious intention it has been
informations are being
Anila Singh, I'm asking a very simple question. Ultimately, yes, Kazmi Saab is right. Let this report be submitted to the court. It's already been submitted to the lower court. Proceedings there have been stayed. Ultimately, I think the Supreme Court will have to take a call on what to do with this report. Leave that aside. You know, the point is, where will you stop? अगर आप खोदना शुरू कर दिया, अभी अयोध्या का मामला हो गया, निपट गया, अभी काशी और मथुरा हो गया, मतलब 3000 ऐसे मस्जिदें हैं जिनको मुगलों ने तोड़ा है और उसके ऊपर मस्जिद बनाया है। तो आप ये बताइए, क्या 3000 मस्जिद आप तोड़ेंगे अभी? मतलब यही है न्यू इंडिया का विजन? मतलब कहां रुकेगी ये बात?
My Ram to everyone and remembering my guest, हर हर महादेव। क्यों रुके भाई, और क्यों रुकना चाहिए? ये लोग रुके थे क्या? The fact, the reality, and the best part, Zaka, is in today's date, at least this generation is understanding what our history is. Our history, which was very tactfully, strategically, and in conspiracy, was hidden by the rulers who ruled for the maximum in our country because of the appeasement. But now the people are knowing. And why should we say कि नहीं हिंदू तुम लोग चुप हो जाओ, बिल्कुल आवाज मत निकालना, क्योंकि मुसलमानों का अधिकार है हर चीज पर पहला. It is not going to work here. And why it should stop? Doesn't the majority population living in our country has the right to claim and to know what was there, or what is there behind 22 doors if we talk about Taj Mahal? Or doesn't each and every Hindu living in this world has right to know that what is there, where are the remnants of that temple? They have got all the right.
नहीं तो इसके बाद क्या? अनिला जी ये भी बता दीजिए ना। ठीक है, ये फाइंडिंग है, कोर्ट को सबमिट कर दिया। अगर ये आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट, हिस्टोरियंस ने ये प्रूव कर दिया कि ये जी हाँ ये शिवलिंग ही था, तो उसके बाद क्या आप मस्जिद को तोड़ाने के लिए बोलेंगे? मतलब अगला कदम क्या होगा?
नहीं, देखिए ऐसा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने ये मसला जो है, ये बात, भारतीय जनता पार्टी तो कोर्ट में पार्टी नहीं है, but there is absolutely no doubts about it. In today's date, if we talk about the political parties, yes, Bharatiya Janata Party is the voice of majority population living in this country, because nobody else cares about them. Secular कह के जो हमारे यहाँ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में ये वर्ड था भी नहीं, ये डाल दिया गया कांग्रेस के द्वारा. So we all should suffer.
Okay, Khaliqur Rahman, what is happening with Gyanvapi, what happened earlier with Ayodhya, is all proof of secular appeasement politics जो पिछले 70 साल से हो रहा है हिंदुस्तान में. अभी भी देखिए अखिलेश यादव ने क्या बोला कि कहीं पे भी आप पेड़ लगा दो, उसके ऊपर झंडा लगा दो, चंदन डाल दो और वो प्रतिमा बन जाएगी. ये मतलब ये जो ट्रिवियलाइजेशन है, इसी की वजह से people are upset. इसी की वजह से BJP seems to be the only party that is able to give vent to this identity of Hindus. Khaliqur Rahman.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My salam to everyone, whoever is here on this panel. Let me tell you that, the secular word, I think my co-panelist, the BJP spokesperson, has to go and revisit the constitution, because the secular word in the constitution has not been inserted later. It is very much a part of the constitution when the Constitution of India was written by Baba Sahib Ambedkar. So let me first clarify this to my esteemed co-panelists from BJP. And number two, because this is, the script is going absolutely and purely on the expected line. First Ayodhya, then the Kashi, then Mathura. And it is not going to stop at Mathura, I'm telling you. Because after that, as you mentioned, because, more than 3,000 mosques have been identified by BJP, by VSP and by Sangh Parivar. So,
but Khaliqur Rahman, two things. The words socialist and secular were added to the preamble of the constitution. That's a recorded fact. Anyway, leave that aside. That's not what today's debate is. Today's debate is, can there be acknowledgement by historians, by archaeologists, by leading lights of the Muslim community that rampant destruction of temples did take place? It started from the 8th, 9th century AD. It continued all the way till the British came. From Ghazni to Khilji to Aurangzeb, temples have been destroyed. Let's not whitewash history. That's all the Hindu side is saying.
Zaka, what happens is, one lie, if you start, repeating it for 100 times, then people will take it as a truth. So this is all I can say. So that is the reason, because you are talking about the acknowledgement. Acknowledgement of what? And who are we to acknowledge that the temples were destroyed, and on the destroyed sites the masjids were built, which is written in the history books, and written by whom? Written by all those people who actually, wanted to disrupt the communal harmony, the peace, and the people who were never satisfied with the
सर, हिस्ट्री का जो ट्रू फैक्ट है उसको पढ़ाने में और उसको सीखने में से क्या कौन सा कम्युनल हार्मनी डिस्टर्ब हो जाएगा सर?
Those historical books are not the divine books.
No, they are not. I'm saying, once again, there are facts and then there are interpretation of facts. Is it a recorded fact that ये जो काशी विश्वनाथ मंदिर है, सुनिए तो, ये जो काशी विश्वनाथ मंदिर है, is it not a recorded fact जो ओरिजिनल मंदिर था उसको डिस्ट्रॉय किया गया, उसके ऊपर ये ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद आई, और 18th सेंचुरी में, मुगलों के बाद 18th सेंचुरी में इंदौर की रानी अहिल्याबाई होलकर ने ये जो नया मंदिर वहां पे है उसको बनवाई. ये तो हिस्टोरिक फैक्ट है ना.
But all this has been put to rest.
Put to rest by who?
By the Act of Parliament in 1991. So whatever the nature, the character of the place of worship was there as on 15th August 1947. That will continue throughout. There will not be any kind of, change, alteration, modification or discussion on that. Because the Parliament of India...
Let me ask Aashutoshsrivastava, he's a Supreme Court lawyer. I do not believe that law is cast in stone. I do not believe law is cast in stone. Laws have been amended. Many laws have been amended. In fact, the Constitution itself has had over 100 amendments. No, one second, Mr. Rahman. There's no need to get very jumpy and excited. One second. I'm asking the Supreme Court lawyer on the panel. He's more learned than you and me. Aashutosh Srivastava, simple question. There are two ways a law can be changed. Either you bring an amendment in Parliament, it's possible, or if you challenge the constitutionality of a law or sections of a law, then a court can strike it down or read it down. Which of these two do you believe, in the case of the 1991 Act, the Places of Worship Act, needs to be adopted or should be adopted? Because many are saying that its time is up, that the 1991 Act was brought in a particular socio-political milieu and context. That context does not exist anymore 30 years on.
Yeah, see, first of all, there are already exemptions so far as the Places of Worship Act 1991 is concerned. If we consider section 4 of the Act and subsection 3 of the same, which talks about the exemptions in particular situations. If, the character of a religious place has changed after 15th of August 1947, then the provisions of this particular Act will not apply. And secondly, if it is historical monument more than 100 years old, and if it is going to be regulated under the provisions of the Ancient Monument and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958, even in that case, the provisions will not apply. Now, in particular case, whether this falls under any of these exceptions or not, this is what the court has to find out.
No, now, but Ashutosh, can I ask? No, exceptions we'll get to. Maybe it is exempted. I don't know. One second. Can I ask for a clarification? As per the Places of Worship Act, even bringing a fresh suit is prohibited for all places of worship as they stood on 15th of August 1947. So, the Varanasi court and today the Mathura court admitting the plea, would that be violative of this Act? That's my simple question. As it stands today.
See, as of now, the court has passed interim order for the survey part. Now, after the survey, if it comes to the knowledge of the court that it falls by chance within the exception of subsection 3 of section 4 of the Act.
No, that's not what I'm asking you, Ashutosh. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm asking you a simple question, sir. The law says, this particular Act says, you cannot bring a fresh legal suit on any place of worship as it stood 15th of August 1947. The fact that the Varanasi court has admitted a plea and now ordered videography and so on, the fact that today a Mathura court has ordered or admitted that plea, would that be violative of this Act? It's a simple question, yes or no?
No, if the petition itself says that the character has changed, I'm just giving an example. If the petition itself says that the character of a religious place has changed after 15th August 1947, then what the court will do? The court will see the evidences available, or the court will order for survey. And if the survey also says so, what is written in the petition, then obviously it is not barred by the law, because then it is as per the law. The law itself says about the exemptions.
Okay, now I got to leave it. No, my understanding of the exemptions is the Archaeological Survey of India is the only body which can declare a monument as... One second, please. The Archaeological Survey of India is the only body which can declare an ancient monument, historical monument or an archaeological site. This is as per the Archaeological Sites and Remains Act of 1958. No other institution has that authority. But Anila ji, एक सिंपल सी बात है. नहीं, one second. Anila ji, एक सिंपल सी बात है. ये कोर्ट कचहरी छोड़ दीजिए. मतलब 30 साल लग गया राम जन्मभूमि के वो जो मैटर सेटल होने में. You have majority, upper house में भी, lower house में भी. आप अमेंडमेंट लेके आ जाइए अगले पार्लियामेंट सेशन में. पता चल जाएगा देश को कि कौन किस तरफ खड़ा है. बस.
आइडिया तो बहुत अच्छा है ज़का आपका, बहुत अच्छा आइडिया है. आपको भी लगता है कि लाना चाहिए, आपका दिल कहता है कि अमेंडमेंट लाना चाहिए.
नहीं, मेरे दिल में क्या है इसको मुझे भी पता नहीं, आपको कैसे पता है.
And thank you to correct Mr. Rahman here, because he didn't have knowledge about the word secular nation, how it came into preamble. Thanks to correct him. But one thing, why should we stop? From the time of the first Muslim invasions, if you go through our Indian history, Indian history became a long series of attacks, massacred thousands of people and destructions of thousands of temples, and this all in the name of Allah, to please Allah. So in the name of Allah, Hindus were sacrificed, and historian Will Durant, he said that the Islamic conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in the world. Jews के लिए बोला जाता है होलोकॉस्ट. मुझे लगता है कि अगर हिंदुस्तान की अगर इतिहास हम देख लेते हैं, हिस्ट्री देख लेते हैं, तो जितने हिंदुओं का कत्ले आम किया गया है शायद पूरे विश्व में नहीं किया गया.
काज़मी साहब, होलोकॉस्ट जो हुआ था ड्यूरिंग द सेकेंड वर्ल्ड वॉर, आज भी 70 साल बाद अगर यूरोप में 17 या 20 ऐसे देश हैं जहां पे इफ यू डिनाई हॉलोकॉस्ट इट्स अ पनिशेबल ऑफेंस, लेकिन 7th सेंचुरी से 16th सेंचुरी तक जो मंदिरें यहाँ तोड़वाया गया उसको अभी भी हम डिनायल में ही हैं, उसको अभी भी हम इतिहास को व्हाइट वॉश कर रहे हैं, उसमें कोई कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस नहीं है।
Zaka ji, we are not responsible for historical wrongdoing.
You are not, but at least can we acknowledge that historical wrongdoing है?
नहीं, आप सुनिए, हिस्टोरिकल रॉन्ग डूइंग अगर है जिसका अनिला सिंह जी जवाब नहीं दे रही, दे मस्ट गो पार्लियामेंट एंड मस्ट मेक एन अमेंडमेंट इनटू द प्लेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट एंड दे शुड प्रोड्यूस द लिस्ट ऑफ द मस्जिद इन देयर हिट लिस्ट।
नहीं तो अगर अमेंडमेंट लेके अमेंडमेंट लेके आती है सरकार, तो क्या आप इसको सपोर्ट करेंगे? क्या असदुद्दीन ओवैसी उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे?
हम सपोर्ट नहीं, whatever the legislature will do, let them do.
नहीं वैसे करें।
Let the nation see.
नहीं, मैं आपसे पूछ रहा हूँ क्या आप उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे अगर अमेंडमेंट लेके आएंगे तो? क्या असदुद्दीन ओवैसी सपोर्ट करेंगे उस अमेंडमेंट को?
हम ओवैसी की बात नहीं कर रहे, हम किसी की बात नहीं कर रहे।
ठीक है, मैं आपकी खुद की बात पूछ रहा हूँ। नहीं, क्या ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड सपोर्ट करेगी ऐसे अमेंडमेंट को? अब उसका बात है।
आपसे ये कहना चाहता हूं, रोज रोज की हिंदू मुस्लिम, रोज रोज की मार काट, रोज रोज की टेंशन से बचो, और इन वन गो टू डेमोलिश ऑल द मास यू वांट।
Sir, nobody is saying, no, once again, I want to once again say this, nobody is saying that modern day Indian Muslims have to pay for or atone for what Aurangzeb did or Ghazni did or Ghaznavi did. That is not the point. The point is, we deserve to know the facts of history. And the fact in the case of Gyanvapi is, and Aurangzeb's own farmans have said this, that it was destroyed. The old temple was destroyed. The masjid was built on the remains of the old temple. The new temple was built by Rani Ahilyabai Holkar. Sir, because history has to be read correctly.
Even the survey report has not been examined by the court.
Survey report, let the court decide.
Why are you very judgmental?
नहीं, मैंने क्या बोला? मैंने इतना ही बोला कि सर्वे रिपोर्ट में ये चीजें, नहीं, सर्वे रिपोर्ट में ये चीजें बताई गई हैं। मैंने ये नहीं कहा ना कि मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट मान लेगी, मैंने ये नहीं कहा ना।
Zaka ji,
okay, I'm going to wrap up. Thank you very much. We'll catch you again at 9 p.m.